So we're gonna talk about a few. Whoa, that bag was wet. So I put the. Yours might be too. I put the bags on the.
Ready.
Oh, this is broken. The branches. Oh wow. I put the bags on the seat to try to prevent us from getting wet. The bags are kind of wet, or at least mine was. Anyway, we're gonna talk about some videos. I think, yeah, all of them were fiction. Just fiction DVDs. The first one was that we watched was the movie Rocketman about Elton John.
Rocketman. You don't even have. Oh, where is that one?
No, it's
you
already
took it
back.
There
yeah.
we go. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to drink my lettuce juice first. If you want to talk a little bit about Rocketman.
Okay, which ones are these?
Well, the other ones you don't have to talk about. Just talk about Rocketman.
No, I'm talking about the drinks.
Oh, lettuce with a little bit of cucumber, and this is
that one looks positively
what's
evil.
it called? Kohlrabi, the big.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
We were given these wonderful kohlrabi. They were the size of my head.
Okay, it won't be as bad as the turnips, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Okay.
I've never had
Okay, I'm drinking one of
kohlrabi
those.
juice before.
I think I'm going to with the lettuce thing.
We've just eaten it in like stir fries and stuff.
Yeah, you save the worst till the last. Anyway, Elton John, Rocketman. Yeah, this is one of the better documentaries, I guess you'd have to call it. It's not strictly speaking a documentary, but rockumentary about music, and it didn't cover the full length of his career, but it's kind of ended up with the song "I'm Still Standing." The songs were a little bit out of chronological order. Some of the stuff looked vaguely like a musical, which ain't that bad, because to a certain extent I think Elton John kind of would have liked his stage act to be like a musical. I mean, he was over the top, even better than a musical, or worse, depending on how you look at it. I think it was better. He put on a pretty good stage show, Didn't have much looks to rock, so he just fancied himself up, and very bad taste, but usually, it was eye-catching. Sometimes it was tasteful, I think, At any rate, I kind of liked when he was dressed as the Queen, or a Queen, or something like that. It looked pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, the music was, by times, pretty good, and by other times, fairly mediocre, but that's kind of like his career. And maybe Pauline will talk about what she thought of the arc of his musical career, what was covered, maybe into the 80s or something like that.
Well,
what did you notice?
I like a couple songs, but
yeah, exactly right. Which ones?
It doesn't
Goodbye,
matter.
Yellow
I put
Brick
them
Road?
on the thing, and yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, cucumber juice.
Yep, burpee.
Yeah.
Cucumber's a burpee. The juice is even more burpee.
No, I liked the movie. I thought it was great. That might have been the best movie about rock and roll legend sort of
That you've
person
seen,
that
yeah.
I've seen.
It's
It was
one of the
so
betters that
well
I've seen.
done.
Yeah, it was.
It really explained a lot. It told so much story that I did not know about. So,
exactly right. I knew
so
about
great.
Almost all of the stuff, but
Yeah.
it was,
And I don't even care for Elton John that
portrayed
much.
are two different things.
Yeah.
See, this is the important thing about literature and art and stuff like that. It doesn't really tell us anything new. It just tells us, it shows us how to feel. It doesn't even tell us how to feel. It shows you how to feel. And it made it quite affecting by times. So it made him maybe more of a sympathetic character if you just know and read about it in black and white.
And not only that, it
Not the
made
same
him seem vulnerable, real, and that's why he's sympathetic. So
Yeah.
you see that how much he needed the lyricists that he worked with. That he, I mean, they thought of each other as brothers.
It looks
very
like,
close.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that it was that close. What I thought of them was kind of summarized by the writing experience, which was They never wrote together, so far as I know. They'd write in separate rooms. They could even write on separate continents if it came down to that. Like Topin would just give him, or he could have mailed him the lyrics, and then and that's an amazing tribute to Elton John, because it usually works the other way around. The music, if there's a songwriting team where it's separate lyricist and composer, the composer usually writes it first, and then the lyricist puts the words to the music. But Elton was so good with music composition that he could take these lyrics and apparently did it really quickly, like almost off the top of the head. Catchy things. They're just like earworms that you don't mind, because the tunes are actually quite long. If you notice some of his verses and choruses, they're very long. They're almost like Roy Orbison stuff, like that Tiny Dancer thing. It's got a lot of different parts to it, before you actually get to the chorus line. So, Elton, if you're out there watching, buddy,
He wouldn't be watching us.
Nobody
watches us.
Get
My family doesn't even watch us.
Buddy, we care, and there's a lot of your stuff that's pretty darn good. Bernie Taupin is a good dude. He wasn't the best lyricist. If you'd had John Lennon writing lyrics for you, you'd be on my rock Mount Rushmore, right up there with John Lennon. I'm telling you, you're as good as Paul McCartney as far as I'm concerned. So, in terms of music, thanks, buddy. You put out some songs that I like. I know that Rolling Stone magazine might not necessarily agree with me, but
they probably do.
You put out some good rockin' tunes, and you put out some great ballads. That's what he was best at, I think. But he could rock, not the best thing.
All right, honestly, this one was not worth watching at all. The Dirty Kind, James didn't watch it. Not worth watching.
Yeah, you didn't even say.
No.
You could sleep well to this, right? I'm wondering. I didn't even see the cover of that. Colleen was hiding it from me.
That's where
she
I put
maybe
my
thought
apple.
I'd Elvis the TV.
No. What do you think about Snowfall, the complete first season?
I actually like that pretty good.
Okay.
I gotta admit, I was watching that CIA guy. I was going, wow, that's different for this smarmy little. You can tell he's got some sort of education, right? Hanging with all these folks selling cocaine and things like that. So I think it's about the CIA's, it's about a lot of people getting involved with crack cocaine, but the story
Well,
goes
it
that
certainly
the CIA
seems very
was involved.
realistic. It seems that they paid attention to details to make it believably set in that time period.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway.
They had the big boat cars and all that kind of stuff.
So if you're into that sort of thing, well.
Yeah, it's, like I prefer Walt White or whatever it was, that Breaking Bad. And you're going to deal with, that was meth, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one is pretty good. I do like that CIA operative. He's the way he goes like this. Like he's got some good moves. You can just. I've seen people like this at university.
Anyway,
tight.
I'm Not Here. Excellent. It's about somebody who's an alcoholic, and
Got
his
a gun,
father
it
was
looks
an
like.
alcoholic, and you just go through the